It was so Yumi who've been Israel. We're gonna talk about how Governor Ron Desantis of Florida feels as though, or he wishes he could have been a part of Jesus' circle, or could have been an apostle of Jesus. Now, here's the thing. Ron DeSantis, being one of these political figures, he obviously is charismatic and he knows how to win the hearts of, the people that voted him in over there in Florida. And he really pulled the heartstrings because, Yahweh has the heathen in derision. And this is one of those derisions where they believe in this false savior here. But we're going to read from this article here, where it says, during a 700 Club interview, Governor Ron DeSantis didn't exactly answer a question about what historical figure he wanted to have dinner with, but he did reach into theology to say who he would have liked to spend time with. Could I have been there with JC's disciples, he asked interviewer David Brody. DeSantis went on to flesh out the scenario. He says, these are people who, Peter is just fishing one day, and all of a sudden, this guy comes up to him, catches all the fish, and says, you're going to be a fisher. I want you to be a fisher of men. Come with me, DeSantis said. And so, these guys all went out, and they dedicated their life to spreading the gospel. And all were killed for, they tried to kill John. John ended up, being able to survive. But the intent was to put him to death. Two, to talk about what that was like, talk about what their impressions are. Indeed, many of the apostles died while proselytizing in places with other spiritual traditions. I look back at that and would love to have been able to be there with them, DeSantis added. During the same interview, DeSantis also addressed the question of his favorite president. His preference ultimately is for the indispensable man, George Washington, whom he said could have been king but voluntarily relinquished power. Now, we're going to talk about, first off, DeSantis clearly doesn't even know his own book where John did die, actually. And, he allegedly was rose up back from the dead after getting beheaded in prison. And again, to be an apostle is really to be a witch because, again, if you want to expose the New Testament, go to the book that came before it. The Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament is that's what it's known as today. And you'll see, Yah said many times, if there be a witch among you, if anyone does divination, thou shalt surely be put to death. And to do things like raise people from the dead, heal the sick, walk on water, do all these, acts of, which is straight out of a Marvel movie, to do these acts. That's witchcraft. And, and y'all said many times, do not drink the blood of anything. But what did this Christ say? Eat this bread, it's my body. Drink this wine, it's my blood. Is that not a contradiction? But yet, people call themselves apostles. Matter of fact, there's no such thing as an apostle today because there's no such, just like how there's no such thing as a good witch. Like, in the occult, they believe in black magic and white magic, but they're both garbage. It's all the same thing. You can really think that you're gonna do magic and then magic's gonna protect you at the same time? No, that's opening your doors to demons, and you can't defend a demon with demonic power. There's two opposites. There's good and there's evil. There's one power that comes from Yahweh, the Most High God, and another power that comes from Satan, the devil. And although Yah's in control of both sides, it's up to you whether you want to choose the side of Yah or choose the side of Satan. So to say that any matter of fact, anyone that claims to be an apostle, first off, they're gonna have to raise someone from the dead. I need to see it in person. Anyone with apostle in their name or claims to be an apostle, they need to do that, because that's what these false. Even though I already know, obviously I'm gonna still drill this. No such thing as JC, no such thing as apostle. The New Testament is a lie made up by the Flavian dynasty for political power. But again, even today, anyone claiming to be an apostle, you're first things first. You're gonna have to raise a dead body for me. I need to see it in person, because according to your New Testament, it says the apostles were able to cleanse leprosy, heal the sick, cast out demons, and but the one that would really even make the atheists, turn into a believer of this JC is you need to raise someone from the dead. And no, I'm not talking about one of these false churches where they put their hand on your forehead and you see people because it's WWE in the churches. Oh, best believe when people the pastor or the false prophet puts their hand on someone's forehead, and the person because they went to acting school, they fall on the floor, they pretend to have some type of spiritual awakening or something. That's all lie, and it's unbiblical, just like how churches were never spoken about in the Old Testament. But I will say, even though Judaism is a false religion, synagogues are talked about in the Old Testament. So that tells you where Yah's people actually worshipped. Because the synagogues, again, are spoken about, just like how Yah said continually as well that Israel is his chosen nation. He didn't say Greece and Mesopotamia and everywhere is gonna be drafted into Israel. No, he ain't saying none of that. He said he chose the nation of Israel to be a nation unto himself, above all people upon the face of the earth, is what he said. And so again, anyone claiming to be an apostle today, I'm gonna need to see. I need to see you raise someone from the dead, and not some WWE stuff too. I need to see for real. I already know you can't, but I would need to see that in person, because shoot, man, if I see someone get raised from the dead, well, I would think of witchcraft, but because we go by scriptures, we don't go on belief. But yeah, just want to touch on this topic here of Ron Desantis pulling on the heartstrings of people when he references the false book of the New Testament. But yeah, this Yirmiyahu, I'm out. All praise to the Most High.